What's going on, everyone? Welcome back. Today we've got another live fantasy football mock draft. Fantasy Pros, 12-team, full PPR, last overall pick, 12th overall. Should be really interesting. The roster, you guys know the deal. 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, a tight end, a flex, and then 5 bench spots. That's pretty much it, though, so let's kick it off. And while we wait, a quick reminder, if you enjoy, hit that like button, subscribe, give us a follow on Twitter at AllDayPigskin. Continue interacting with us there. Let us hear it in the comments, your thoughts, any questions you guys might have. We'll do our best to answer them all. But let's get into it. No more wasting time. I want to show the draft board right now and get a sense of what has taken place with the first 11 picks. So to highlight it, we had Jamar Chase go first overall. Again, I think this is going to be a trend that you're seeing. It's probably going to be either him or a Bijan, Saquon type of situation. For those of us that want to go wide receiver, it's probably going to be Chase. For those of us that want to go running back, it's going to be one of these two guys right here in Bijan or Saquon. Then it was CD, followed by the 2 aforementioned running backs, Saquon and Bijan. I don't have too much of a gap between either guy, so if you want to make the case for one over the other, that's fine, but I don't think it's that much separation. Then Amon-Ra, then Justin Jefferson, then Puka Nacua, Jahmyr Gibbs, Malik Neighbors. I like the Neighbors pick right there. I think it's a decent value, probably where he should be going. Ashton Genty, like to see Genty getting that first round love. Then Nico Collins, and now we are on the clock. And as far as wide receivers that are left, Brian Thomas, Drake London, A.J. Brown, those are the guys that I would have in consideration for this pick. Probably lean Brian Thomas, then, London. But you can convince me on A.J. Brown over Drake London. Am I worried about Travis Hunter taking away value from Brian Thomas? No. That is, if the Jags stay true to his demands of playing 2 ways, then no, I'm not worried. I'm perfectly fine with Brian Thomas, being a late first-round selection. But here, you know what? I want to go a little bit edgy. I want to go a little bit bold. Let's throw caution to the wind. Let's go 2 running backs. And, the A-Chain pick here is nothing too crazy, nothing too aggressive. But the second pick is going to be. The second pick is going to be Christian McCaffrey. Look, at a certain point in time, you got to decide if you're going to take the risk or if you're going to shy away from it. So I drafted A-Chain, so I feel a little bit better about having McCaffrey. Obviously, you got to get your handcuff if you're a McCaffrey owner. We know that. But McCaffrey is a boomer bust guy. Like, if you feel comfortable with the risk associated with picking him, then I don't know how he can't be in your top 5 running back list. Because, again, when we do projections, when we do all that stuff, you go off a full season. And if you go off a full season of McCaffrey, I don't know if you're going to find too many better overall picks in full PPR scoring. Now, again, I continue to say it, there's risk associated with every single player. So keep that in mind. But again, it's a mock draft. It's still early. I'm not super worried. I'll go Christian McCaffrey. I want to see how this build looks. I want to see what we have left available to us here at the end of the 3rd round and see if we're punished for going back-to-back running backs. Like, if this was the real deal, I probably would have gone A-Chain and then Brian Thomas to be a little bit more balanced. But, we can have some fun with these mocks. So after a McCaffrey pick, it was Derrick Henry, Brian Thomas, Jackson Smith-Njigba, Drake London, A.J. Brown, nothing too crazy, Brock Bowers. So yeah, you're going to see the first tight end. It's going to be Bowers, and it's going to be either early second or mid-second. T. Higgins, Ladd McConkey, Bucky Irving, Trey McBride. I prefer Trey McBride. I think getting him a couple picks later is decent. Sometimes maybe even a full round later. Depends on the size of your leagues. Rashee Rice at 212. I feel like that's a little bit too early, especially, coming off the injury. Chase Brown, it's a pick that I like. Josh Allen, first QB off. Then Josh Jacobs, Tyreek, Kyron Williams, Lamar, second quarterback off. Brees, Devontae, Jonathan Taylor going after Breece Hall and after Kyron Williams, I'd have him above those guys. So a great value there. Garrett Wilson and Mike Evans. I mean, I wouldn't have minded if one of those guys made it to us. But look, we're on the clock here, and I got to be honest with you. I mean, as far as running backs are concerned, I'm not going to be going that direction. The values, Kamara, James Cook, Mixon, Hubbard, I think all those guys are solid choices, but I need wide receiver help. I'm looking at Marvin Harrison Jr. I think he is going to bounce back this season, and I'm looking at Terry McLaurin. Yes, Deebo Samuel is there, but you could argue this is the best compliment Terry McLaurin has had on that offense alongside with him. It can open things up for Terry McLaurin. And I don't think Deebo is going to steal, the number one role away from Terry. Terry has that chemistry with Daniels. So honestly, I lean Marvin Harrison and Terry McLaurin here. And I think Marvin Harrison has the higher ceiling. And I think Terry McLaurin is just like a solid, high-end wide receiver 2 type of deal where there's going to be some weeks where he puts up wide receiver 1 numbers. But, he should be able to get you 10-plus points, especially in full PPR. I would argue closer to 15 on a week-to-week basis. Now I'm going to go Marvin Harrison, like I mentioned before, and then we'll see what happens basically in these next 2 rounds because, again, we're picking at the extremes, so keep that in mind. Let's pull up our team here. Pretty balanced, right? Achane, McCaffrey, Terry, Marvin Harrison. After Marvin Harrison, it was James Cook, then George Kittle, then Jaden Daniels, Kenneth Walker, Joe Burrow, Mixon, Kamara. So a lot of those running backs that I mentioned, pretty much all of them, have been selected. Makes sense. Jalen Hurts. So this is typically like your group of top 5 quarterbacks right now. Allen, Lamar, Daniels, and then like Burrow or Jalen Hurts. Godwin, DJ Moore. I continue to see O'Marion Hampton being selected right around this range, end of 4th. For fantasy purposes, I just don't think, unless there is an injury to Najee Harris, Hampton isn't going to, I think, fully break out this season. I think he is a 2026 type of pick. Tedder McMillan, while I do like McMillan for that Carolina offense, and for Bryce Young more so, and for the future of that offense and Bryce, I don't think this is the year to invest a 5th round pick or early 5th round pick, on Tedero McMillan, just because you still got Thielen, you still got Leggett, you've got Coker, so there's other names there. Chuba Hubbard, then 502, Worthy, Zay Flowers, Chris Olave, DK Metcalf, Devonta Smith. Metcalf could end up being a pretty good value if it's just him and Aaron Rodgers. RJ Harvey, God damn it. I keep trying to land this guy on my squad, and I feel like his ADP gets pushed up every single time more and more after I talk about him. If there's a guy that I'm going to be planting my flag on, as far as rookie running backs are concerned, or just rookies in general, it's going to be RJ Harvey. I can feel it. I'm going to be all the way in on him. But I think the price tag at the end is going to be a little steep. Then Travis Hunter, then James Conner, then Cortland Sutton. So, checking out the squad right now, if we went with other wide receivers, there's, Jalen Waddle, the number 2 in Miami, Jerry Jeudy, Jameson Williams. If I'm going upside, I guess you go Jameson Williams. You saw the breakout last season. But I think there's just a lot of guys to feed there. So with that being the case, I'm looking at probably tight end here, honestly. I know it's going to be a while until we make another selection. And Laporta and Hawkinson, to me, are by far and away the next 2 best tight ends. So I'm going to go with one of them. The question is, which one do you go with? Do you go with Laporta? Do you go with Hawkinson? Laporta's got his fair share of guys to contend with on that offense. You've got Jahmyr Gibbs, who catches a lot of passes. Obviously, Amon-Ra, Jameson Williams breaking out. So it's going to be up and down, similar to what it was last year. Then TJ Hawkinson, a year removed away from his injury. Obviously, you've got Justin Jefferson. Jordan Addison's there as well. But, I feel like there might be less competition with Hawk. So this might be ill-advised, but I'm going to go with TJ Hawkinson here as my tight end. And I think we're in a situation now where we just go best player available to plug in that flex spot. I'm looking at Monty. I'm looking at Aaron Jones, Tony Pollard. Quinshawn Judkins, I continue to mention his name. I think he could be a solid pickup. As far as another rookie running back, Monty's going to get you around 10 points every week, I think at a minimum. So I'm going to go and swing for the fences here a little bit. I'm going to go with Judkins. I'm going to go with another rookie wide receiver that I like. I think we can get some good value afterwards on some wide receivers that drop to us. Ooh, and speaking of that, I see a couple names here that I really like. So let's turn our attention to them. But again, breaking down what happened before. So after we went Judkins, it was Baker, Jalen, Laporta, sure, Evan Ingram, Pacheco, Jordan Addison, Justin Herbert, DeAndre Swift, Justin Fields. Yeah, you're going to be taking a chance on him and his rushing ability. George Pickens, Patty Mahomes, 6'12". How the mighty have fallen. But after the last 2 years he has had, it's tough. It's tough to blame you on dropping his stock. You were benching Mahomes a lot of times last year. Jamison Williams at 701 I think is really good value. Monty at 702 is really good value. Ayuk, Judy, Pittman, Aaron Jones at 706 is good value. I think with Jones, it's a similar situation with McCaffrey, not to the same extent, but Jones, it's age. He's not going to play the entire season. Shakir, Bo Nix would have been a solid choice of quarterback if he had made it there. Trevion Henderson, I just don't think Ramondre Stevenson is fully going to go away. Caleb Williams, Caleb Johnson, same with Warren there for the Steelers. So here, quarterbacks, Kyler Murray's there. But at this point, I'd rather just, go with a Jared Goff or something like that. But the reason I said there's a couple names that I still really like, I think Rome Odunze at this point in time is a really, really good value pick. I've said that I think he's a better value than probably, DJ Moore if he's going at the end of the third round. Other wide receivers, do you think Calvin Ridley will break out again? Not that he necessarily broke out last year, but now that there's a true quarterback, how much do you believe in Cam Ward? I'll probably look elsewhere. I'm between Kyler Murray and Jared Goff right now. I guess you lean on the rushing upside of a Kyler Murray, so I kind of go there. Wide receivers, Jacoby Myers, Juwan Jennings, I don't mind either one, just the steady guys that you can plug in. I guess I'll just go with, I think this is where you got to answer the question, is there that big of a divide between Murray and Goff and Love and Dak and CJ Stroud? I don't think there is, so you know what? I'm going to throw caution to the wind a little bit. Let's go with an upside guy in Juwan Jennings. I'm going to go with him. And actually, no, wait. I'm going to take that back. I've already got Christian McCaffrey. I'm going to go with, if I want to go high upside guy, Stephon Diggs in New England. He's going to be by far and away the number one there. Age is a factor. Injury is a factor. But I think that potentially this late, it's not that bad of a risk. So let's go with Stephon Diggs. Now, what do we have here? Wow. Not a lot of love for some of these other wide receivers. The reason I say that is because scrolling down here, we saw after my Diggs pick a lot of red and a decent amount of blue, running backs and tight ends. So Pollard, Brian Robinson, Javonte Williams, Pearsall, Calvin Ridley, Jalen Warren, Christian Kirk, Tyrone Tracy. Okay. Juwan Jennings there is good value. Najee, Jacoby Myers, Jonnu, Travis Etienne, and another guy that just, the hype around him has died down with Etienne. Njoku, Andrews, but again, deservedly so. Travis Kelce, the old man alliance here at tight end, Andrews and Kelce. Scatterboo, Jake Ferguson, Ramondre Stevenson, Trey Benson, Zach Charbonnet, and Tucker Kraft. So now, Garendo, I said with him, you want to handcuff your backfield if you have Christian McCaffrey. Just a smart move. Wide receivers, Cooper Kupp, can he still eke out some upside? Probably, probably. You know, other guys, like I've already got Terry, so unless he gets hurt, Debo seems like kind of a pick that's always going to be on my bench. So I probably lean Cooper Kupp, and then, just so that we can guarantee we have the the situation at running back and the handcuffs sorted out, go that way. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. It's a little bit of a reach, but I'm all right with it. Let's do that now. Or you know what? I think we can actually still get him in the next round. Let's see. Let's see if the gamble pays off. And let's just take our quarterback and Kyler Murray now. Yeah, I'll go with Kyler because of the upside with the rushing. And am I gonna get it screwed? Of course. Oh wow, that's funny. That is funny. So we end up missing out on on the handcuff situation. So that's something to keep an eye out for. I pointed it out again, but we kind of got burnt by it. So it's all right. Live and learn. It's a mock draft. At least we're being aware of it, right? But we've got, I believe, 2 last picks to make here. So we can still go Jalen Wright. Like, he's still in the handcuff category for us. So for HN, I'm going to go with that pick. And then who's going to be our last guy here? Maybe we still go with the Jared Goff. These wide receivers I don't necessarily love. Tight end, I'm fine. I've got Hawk. I don't need to push anything. Yeah, I mean, I guess, or unless there's a high upside wide receiver that we can kind of stash. I don't love anything right now, to be honest with you. So, I mean, Marquise Brown, I think, is just going to be a every once in a while home run hitter type of situation. Yeah, let's go with Jared Goff. Let's just add Jared Goff. It's not a sexy pick, but that'll be the squad. Let's see the grade we get. I will be curious. I mean, I really like our first 4 picks with Achane McCaffrey, Terry, Marvin Harrison. The draft wizard does not agree. We get a C- on the squad. I think it should be a little bit higher. I would have loved if we got the entire San Francisco backfield, so I will acknowledge that mistake. I think we got some good wide receiver depth. Did we need to go Jared Goff with that last pick after we had Kyler Murray? No, not necessarily. So, again, acknowledging that. But, I mean, I think our first 4 picks were really, really strong. We're like worst case scenario, it's a C+ type of draft. But, hey, let me know your thoughts if you agree or disagree. If you enjoyed, hit that like button, subscribe, give us a follow on Twitter at AllDayPigskin. Continue interacting with us there. Again, let us hear it in the comments. We'll do our best to answer everything. But in the meantime, we'll see you guys in future videos.